Okay, ji. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we'll start. Actually, we'll discuss about the pavement failures, construction and maintenance. Uh, in the previous lecture, we already have we already know the we already know what are the main type of failures. That is what we call fatigue, bleeding, block cracking, corrugation and shoving, depression, joint reflection cracking, plain shoulder drop off, that is a longitudinal cracking, patching, polished aggregates and the potholes. So since we know the type of cracking, how they are formed, what are the causes, so what we do is to discuss how to repair those cracks. We start with the fatigue cracking. So whatever the repair strategy you suggest, the root cause of the failure should be first determined. Because not knowing the disease and start taking the antibiotics will not help in any case. For fatigue cracking, what we usually do is to dig a pit or take the core out of the pavement, uh, and we first try to know what was the structural design, and whether that structure design was implemented or not. As well, we also determine with this type of loading whether it is adequate or not. Then, obviously, when we take out the core and then we found that there is a moisture uh, within that core area or within that pit area, then we can say that there is the problem is moisture, not the pavement design. So once you know the causes, we find that if we apply only the crack sealing, it will not be effective. So the fatigue crack repairs can be categorized into one of the two categories. One is when there is a small localized failure. It means the problem is not the pavement, it's the problem of the loss of the subgrade support. So what we do, we just remove that area, that localized area, and replace from the beneath, dig a pit out it, remove all the material, throw it away, uh, and then try to improve the drainage, and again start with laying a new subgrade and then the effective layers, and that will be patched and this will be addressed. But what would happen if you have a large area that has been affected by the pavement? It means it's it's a it's a structural failure. The structure, the pavement structure that has been recommended is not adequate. So we have to overlay all the pavement, and this is a structural overlay, and we calculate according to the anticipated demand of the traffic. This is an example of a bad fatigue cracking in which you have to do the second repair as I've suggested. Now, another stress on the pavement is a bleeding, and it is recommended that the following repairs, following strategies must be applied to reduce the asphalt binder film on the pavement. Minor bleeding can often be corrected by applying coarse sand to blot up the excess asphalt binder. And this is done right at the start. And what happens? The bleeding if after laying a pavement on the second day, you find that the asphalt is on the surface. So there you can always uh, apply coarse sand something to blot up the excess asphalt whitening. Now, if it is a major bleeding, then you have to cut off excess asphalt with a motor grader or removing it with a heat heater planer. And this, if after removing that you find the surface become roughy, become very rough, so you have to apply a coat of single coat of surfacing. It may be, if it may be necessary. Another type of crack that is called the block crack, and again the it can be applied at two levels depending upon severity. What I mean by severity, if the width of the crack is less than half inch, it's will be categorized as low severity crack. So what we do, we crack seal to prevent entry of moisture into substrate, further leveling of the crack edges. So HMA, hot mix asphalt, provide years of satisfactory surfaces if it is kept sealed. So there are sealant that is available. If you just have to, what you need to do is to clean the cracks, and if there are foreign materials, you have to remove it, and then you can apply the sealant. There are number of sealants that are available to do it. Since it is not a structural crack, so we don't need to worry more about it. But eventually, we have to repair it because it will not. If we do not repair it, it will become source of the water to enter. Uh, if your crack is of high severe nature, that is half inch wide, you have to remove the crack pavement with an overlay. Here you cannot apply just grouting the cracks. This will not help. You have to remove the pavement, you have to apply an overlay. Then there is a problem, what we call a corrugation and shoving. Again, with as we are discussing, we need to know the reasons and we have to find the root cause of failure. So here, if it is small, you have to remove that small portion of the pavement and just patch it. Now, if you have a larger area that has been affected, then you have to remove all the damaged pavement and have to have an overlay so that this could be removed. Then comes a depression. So, as we know that depressions are a small localized area, uh, what we do is to remove the affected pavement, dig out, replace the area of the poor subgrade, and patch over the bad subgrade. Because this depression is because of the settlement of the subgrade. Now, what I mean by patching, it seems distress, and actually patches themselves are the repair action. And in order to hide that patching, you have to have an overlay, right? Maybe a structural overlay or a non-structural overlay. There is a for to get rid of polished aggregate, you have to apply a skid resistant slurry seal. Now these are the potholes. What we do in the potholes is We try to excavate all the area in squares, although the potholes are not in particular shape. So you have to make it square and go up to the place where you find it, the cause, remove all the pavement there, and relay that patch. Most of the time, the patching is odd at uh, the asphalt surface only. So what we need maybe a bearing force. So what we need, we have to remove that, cut the walls, cut the pavement in vertical, apply deck coat, and do it the patch work. Now, when we have a problem with the raveling, you have to remove the raveled pavement and patch if it is small, and if they are large, it means the hot mix asphalt or asphalt concrete has failed. So you always have to remove that damaged pavement and have to apply a structural overlay. There comes rutting. Uh, if you have a slight rut, it means if it is less than 1 upon 3 inches, you don't need to do anything. But if you have a flood depth more than 1.3 inches, then you have to label it first and then overlay. And that is a structural overlay. Again, this is because of the heavy traffic loading. Most of the time, it may be because of other reasons. So whatever the cause, but it has to be first addressed, and then you have to apply uh, overlay on it. Then the slippage tracking, you just have to remove that area and do some patching to get rid of this thing. And this is a functional problem if there is a slippage tracking. The strip pavement should be removed, again investigated why and how did the moisture get in. We need to remove it. We have to again correct this drainage area, whether it's a surface drainage or whether it's a subsurface drainage. And once this issue is resolved, then you have to relay that patch. If stripping is at localized area, but if it is stripping is on the major area, then you have to correct all the these things, and then have to an overlay. There comes another crack, uh, this transverse crack. Again, its repair depends upon the severity. Uh, and if it is half inch wide, we have to seal the crack. And what will this sealing will do? It prevents the entry of moisture into the subgrade, and it will further revel off the crack agents. And this can provide satisfactory service over developing small cracks. High severity, remove and replace the crack pavement layer with an overlay. So with that, we know how to repair the cracks, how to address the different cracks. But time and time again, you come across a strategy called sealings. Seal the pavement first. Most of the time, you seal the pavement. So what I mean by sealing and how it can be done, this will be discussed in this section of pavement maintenance. So we need to, objective of knowing this topic is to investigate type of surface treatment and where they are most beneficial. The purpose always for applying a surface treatment is to seal the cracks, waterproof the surface, improve friction, improve rideability, and rejuvenate the surface. So this is the pavement that requires sealing, right? Or that require surface treatment. There are different types of fog seal, slurry seal, chip seal, cape seal, and scrub seal. We go one by one. When we say fog seal, it's a light application of diluted, slow setting asphalt emulsion without aggregate cover. Those of you who are wondering what is an emulsion is the modified form of an asphalt in which the water is added to the asphalt and that uh, water is aided because water and asphalt cannot be mixed together. So they are aided by some external catalyst agents, and this is how it's prepared. Emulsion has an advantage that it can apply cold as well. That's because water, when it's applied to the pavement, all the water evaporates and this becomes the asphalt becomes uh, tagged to the surface and it joins itself when it gets at the room temperature. So the purpose is to seal the pavement. It will stop raveling. It will prevent raveling, and it will give an asphalt a new surface. And obviously, it provide differentiate. You can differentiate with a shoulder because the new applied fog seal will look as black as it could be. But since you have other surface as old, so you can always differentiate shoulder and the pavement because sometimes if there is a problem with your marking, you cannot differentiate between the shoulder and the asphalt traffic lane. So it will also help you in this case. So what are the benefits? With sealing, you can seal small cracks. Uh, all the raveling will be addressed because now asphalt has been applied to bind those aggregates, prevents snow flow damage, and darkens new chip seals. Now, uh, this is a very interesting diagram in which the number of cracks have been shown, and the blue marker shows that it is feasible, and the red is it is not appropriate to apply this fog seal for this type of distress. We start with fatigue cracking. Now, for the minor fatigue cracking, it's very good, but if the fatigue cracking is major, this is not recommended. This is the same with linear and block cracking, and you will not use it for rutting. This is fog seal is not recommended for rutting, and neither it is recommended of bleeding or friction loss or showing. However, raveling and roughness and moisture of low severity can be addressed by this fog. And even if you do it, the effectiveness of this fog seal will only be good for moisture damage. Otherwise, even though you say it is for low severe fatigue cracking, linear block cracking, raveling, but the effect will be marginal. Means not 100% of the problem will be solved. While with no, if you apply with fog seal for rutting, it will have no impact. That's why we could not recommend fog seal for those uh, stress that has been identified like rutting, roughness and friction loss and showing. So how you apply it? These are the steps. You have to first clean the pavement surface. again clean it. You have to control the traffic. You do not allow traffic to come. Spray the liquid asphalt, that is an emulsion, and you just allow for cure time. And if there are an excess asphalt, you have to blot it out. Then you leave it for the traffic. You have to leave traffic once the asphalt gets set, maybe at the room temperature, maybe something below 60 degrees centigrade. uh, you can allow the traffic. But you must be sure that the asphalt is not sticking to anything. Then come another technique, that is what we call a slurry seal. It's a mixture of well-graded aggregate and slow-setting asphalt applied together. And like you see in the diagram, again the purpose is to seal the surface crack, correct the raveling oxidation, fill minor surface irregularities. Good application to use in subdivision where curb expose is an issue. Now look at this diagram. This is not appropriate for showing, though for other it seems feasible. Feasible may not mean it is effective. You apply it for some time uh, to satisfy your uh, to satisfy your mind, or but even though it may have a minor effect, but it will not have a major impact. This you can see from this diagram that there is no impact of this slurry seal on either rutting, bleeding, and roughness while showing, and a marginal effect on block cracking and raveling. But it can be effective for fatigue, linear, and a frictional loss. It's very effective, as well as the moisture damage. So it's again the slurry seal. Uh, it's an emulsified asphalt and small aggregate that is mixed through a mobile bug mill and then is squeezed into the pavement. Clean the pavement surface, close the road before, apply the slurry ring, and then wait for the curing time. This is an illustration how it is being done. You have to close the road surface like this. There are different types of sealant used. It has an average of 5 to 10 years. Should seal correct prior to apply slurry seal, and it requires a very clean road. There comes a chip seal. Its application of asphalt and aggregate chips rolled into the pavement. Purpose is to seal the pavement, uh, enrich hardened oxidized asphalt, retard reflection cracking on HMA, and improve surface friction. Now, it is not appropriate for showing nor for the major or high severe rutting, roughness, and moisture damage, while for frictional loss, it is very good, and as well as for raveling. So again, this is shown that uh, the green border on the figure shows that it is quite effective in raveling, 100% effective in friction loss. For minor moisture damage, you can have an advantage in as well as in fatigue cracking and block cracking. When we say chip seal, it provides a little heavier seal, consists of a spray, applied liquid asphalt, and then rock added to it. So first clean the surface, close the traffic, spray the liquid asphalt, apply the rock into the asphalt, roll with a pneumatic roller, sweep loose rock out. Actually, chip seal is a very old technique used. It is also known as inverted penetration method, in which asphalt is applied, and when once the asphalt is applied, the aggregate are sprayed on it, and if it get rolled, all the aggregate will go inside the asphalt layer. So that's why we have to sweep if there are only rock that has not been inserted into this. It's mostly, you see, our shoulders are made up of this method, even nowadays. So this is how you do the chip seal. Nowadays, a modified polymer modified emulsion is recommended. If it is properly done, it can go have a life of 7 to 12 years. There comes Cape seal. Actually, Cape seal is multiple treatment of chip seal, slurry seal, and of crack seal application, and it is where the curve is exposure is concerned. This is where a Cape seal is applied. Its application of asphalt and aggregate rolled into the pavement, single polish, single machine applied, eliminates the distance between distributor and chip spreader. Same result as a chip seal. It's a modified version of a chip seal. It's what we call a macro surface. There comes another way is application of sand or small size aggregates on a broom layer of polymer modified asphalt. Fill and seal small cracks, enrich hardened oxide alpha asphalt, preparation for another treatment. If you look this block diagram, uh, it is not appropriate for flushing and not for showing, and not appropriate for most of the major severe cracks like fatigue, rutting, ravening. Its effectiveness, it's very little effective, and most of the time it's ineffective and no impact on the cracks that has been shown or the diseases that has been shown here. Actually, this is a newer version. This is Arizona Department of Transportation that has been using this thing, using this scrub seal. It's still not very common in even in other parts of United States of America. It's designed to arrest light deterioration, fill cracks without labor-intensive work, rejuvenates properties of the old asphalt due to oxidation. So how to apply is applied by distributor. You have to scrub into the cracks. Sand is then applied. Roll with a pneumatic roller. Traffic remove excessive sand. Road open in about 2 hours. That's why it is now being performed. So this ends the first part of the rehabilitation, the overlay and techniques. We end over here, and then